Yo, Caesar here, and welcome to, this is quite of an impromptu mini championship that we are having in the middle of the season break that we have had in the first season of GT Sport Proximity Racing League. And we are by chance here on F1, but what we had planned earlier was to have a Super Formula mini championship in GT Sport, but as the game stands, it's quite broken. So yeah, here we are. So yeah, we're here. You can see all the proximity guys here, and they're lined up in Austria, and not many, I must say, are too familiar, as RKV is yet to get off the start finish straight. As we see, Abitago sent it down the inside of turn one. Meanwhile, further back down, we see Abitago go into the grass. So let's just concentrate here, as Azim has spun, lost at the back end. Let me just switch on the necessary. This all started too quickly. I'm sorry if I'm a bit rusty here, but further back down the field, Abitago is helping his teammate from GT Sport from last season to get off and get a move on, as Aditya, or PX, TX, AXK, moves up into P2 from P7. So Valdis Monk sends it down the inside of that's turn 3. Right, once the race gets all sorted, everyone is we see here both these drivers side by side, Abitago and Aditya. Is he Aditya? I might get that name wrong, but I'm sorry. So Abitago goes really wide. These guys need to be really careful. It's wet and it will be quite tricky in these conditions. I'm not really sure what is their experience like in these conditions in this game, as Abitago goes wide again. Meanwhile, further back down, the gap has started to form up rather quickly, I must say. The first lap, as there's collision behind Azim and RKV mingling into each other, as RKV, someone who's quite rapid in GT Sport, finished P3, struggling in this game for now. And Ashwin, a guy who joined yesterday, is in a quite comfortable lead, 4 seconds up the road. Someone sends me a message. I hope I'm quite audible, and no one is complaining, so that's fine. So now that the field has spread out, is he about to lap someone? He is, yeah. Is he? I see someone as the Ferrari here. These two guys are battling for positions, but not in the way they would have hoped for, as RKV gets 2 seconds time penalty for exceeding the track limits. Right, so let's just get back to how we got here from GT Sport to F1. So the thing was, the initial plan was to do a mini championship in Super Formula with F1 liveries, and you know how GT Sport is these days. It's quite broken, let's be honest. In other words, we had to switch to the original F1 here, and like most of the guys, very few own this game. Many of them quite new to the game, so here we are, and that's why you see quite a spread, as we see Red Bull, who's lost in Sector 2. Thanks to this mini map here, we are able to see who's struggling in which part of the track. So you can see by the mini map, everyone is quite spread out, so there are no real battles here. What we can see here is the fastest lap that is set by Aditya, 1:18.3. So we'll be able to see we are running a total of 6, maybe 7 races in all. Not really sure, but it's kind of a mini championship, nothing serious here. So it's all friendly, no damage. Setups are default, if anyone's interested to know that. And I can be on anyone right here, and it won't make much of a difference, as there's no real battle here except this one, Abitago and Monk, the wildest Monk, who were teammates in season 1, who gave quite a challenge to me and Abhishek for the constructors, but eventually they ran out of races to clinch that from us, as Aditya sets another fastest lap, 1:17.8. So he is 6/10 quicker. That's quite a lot in F1 terms. So he is showing his pace. Let's see the gap. It's 3.2 seconds, so this gap might come down. but he has just under 2 laps to close down the gap. This battle is the oh, wait a minute, here we are. RKV and Azim Clark, that's the closest battle we have here. These both having quite a ding-dong battle, but mostly off the track, as we see. As we speak, Azim is off the track, and yeah, just checking out the gravel, how slushy it is as he spins out, trying to get on the throttle earlier than he would have hoped for. And the gap here again, 2.5 seconds from 3.2. So he is pushing his Aditya to Ashwin. Ashwin is saving up all his ERS as... oh, he's just lapping Azim here. Yeah, there you go. So Azim has already been lapped in a 5-lap race, which won't do much good to his confidence. But the good thing is this championship is reverse grid. So Azim, as of now, based on the current position, will start from pole in the next race. So yeah, silver lining, we can say. So 1.8 second, that's the gap between Ashwin and Aditya. So the gap is closing down, but will he have enough time with him? Doesn't look like. He will run out of laps, which is the final one as we speak. So I think one more lap and he would have had him. But Aditya, I think he has few penalties to his name. Ashwin, not really sure if I saw any, but further down the field, Abitako maintaining the final step on the podium from his old teammate, Wildest Monk, or Ankur as he's officially known. I do see someone commenting on the stream. Let me just go through the comments. Why not? Okay, that's Glenn. So hello Glenn, how are you? Yeah, you can join me, Glenn, if you want. MercurialSeasor is my PSN. If you want, I'll invite you to the party and we can do it together. And Muqayyim says go Azim Clark. So Muqayyim is Azim's brother, real brother, who's cheering him on. But yeah, nothing Azim can do as Ashwin wins the first race in a very wet Austria. Aditya, not enough. I think penalty wise both had the equal amount of penalties. Abhi Thakur held on the attack from his teammate and instead pulled away from him towards the end, finishing the race by almost 3.5 seconds ahead of his teammate. Oh, that's 1.2, so maybe penalties were involved there. Clownster, who he says he's playing this game for the first time, will round off the race in P5, and Skinny, good 37 seconds down the road, is in P6. Azim Clark, meanwhile, being a lap down, finished the race in P8. And RKV, another one who claims he's playing the game for the first time, bringing his Ferrari home in P7. Well, quite an uneventful race, except the first few corners. But again, there are more races to go, so we could see swapping positions. Maybe Ashwin, who finished the race in P1, he'll definitely start from last, so maybe he could be held up behind the drivers finishing behind him in the next race. I will have to wait and see. Oh, RKV is out of fuel. I think he used a lot of fuel, maybe ran the entire race in Rick's mixture, and you can see he's just trickling down the finishing line like the weather is in Austria. So there we have it, race 1 done. And Ashwin takes the checkered flag for the first race, and yeah, not many times you see 3 tricolors on the podium together in an F1, so that's a good sight right there. So 25 points, I think fastest went to Aditya in P2. Yeah, that's correct. So Aditya took home the fastest lap, but the race victory goes to Ashwin from P1. Not a bad job done by Aditya, starting from P7 from the last row, finishing it on the podium. So let's see what the next race holds. I'm not really sure where the next race is. Let's just go to the standings. Oh, I don't want to go to standings, so everyone has to wait for the timer to stop. I'm sorry, this is the first time I'm doing spectator mode in the championship, so yeah, I'm pretty new to this mode here. As Muqayyim cheers everyone on. So now we are in Germany. Yeah, a track known to have quite a lot of wet races here, and we should see what this track brings on to the tables. Just give me a minute, I'll be right back. Maybe I can put some music. Should I? Let's put on some music. Let's see. Hopefully not too loud. Just any progressive house. Right, so here we are in Germany. Let's just stick here. As Fahim Muhammad, I'm not really sure what his PSN is, but yeah. Right, let's get back to the race. And oh, it's not reverse grid. We're starting in, I don't know what order. It's quite random, but we'll sort that out, as a lot of drivers got a drive-through penalty for jump start. Not really sure who was the catalyst there, who triggered everyone else to follow in his footsteps. So Aditya has taken, let's just switch this on quickly, from P5. Aditya is up into P1. Ashwin meanwhile is comfortably in P2. Meanwhile back there, the Red Bull of Monk getting under attack from Clownster. Clownster can send it down the inside at the next track, and yeah, Azim is again dead last from P3. Will we see some action on this hairpin? Wildest Monk holds it. He tries to hold it and pushes him wide, this Clownster. I'm sorry, he pushed Skinny off. So he's in a pretty good Red Bull Savage. There's a crash up in the front. Avitaco has lost it. I'm not really sure what happened there. Did he clip the grass? Did he came in contact with anyone? I'm not really sure what happened there, but the battle for P4 still continues. It's a battle for between four guys. Azim Clark holding it down the inside. Clownster meanwhile trying to stay as much on the outside as possible. Azim trying to switch back line, but there's nothing he could do as Clownster gets a better launch of that slow corner. Oh, there's another incident. Skinny's off now this time. So 2 incidents already in the initial lap, but let's not forget there are a lot of drive-through penalties. I think I saw 3 names pop up. One is already in the pits, but I think the smart move will be to stay out and serve it at lap 3 once you have enough space between you and the driver around you. Clownster meanwhile gets a 3-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Someone who's used to GT Sport needs to look after, slow down before the pit entry line, unless of course you don't want that penalty to get you, as RKV breaks really late, goes deep into the corner. So does Wildest Monk, but not as wide as RKV, as Azim takes full advantage of that and goes up into P4. So he's making inroads after that initial lap 1 fallen position that he had from P3. He was P8, remember, but yeah, doing rather well. And oh, we see a Ferrari back there. Something happened. I saw him spinning, but let's get back to the battle here that we have between Azim and RKV. RKV needs to hold down his position. DRS will be active on the next lap, and as Germany is known for, you just need to be patient and wait for the DRS stretch, and it's quite a long thread and you can easily make your move. As RKV loses it on the exit of the final corner, he goes into the gravel and pushes too hard and faces the wrong way at the end. So Azim will be breathing quite easily now. Abitaku meanwhile trips down the penultimate corner. This is wonderful. I'm catching all the good moments at the right time, and he's still doing donuts here. Abitaku needs to take it a little bit easy. His tires won't be happy with his shenanigans here, as now again we see everyone is quite evenly spread out, except no, there's a change in the lead. Oh, we see Ashwin lock up, so he is, I assume, not using any assist, or rather no ABS. or it could be Aditya as well. Oh, they touch, and these two going head over heels with each other. These two, oh, he sends it down the inside. So these two have been playing this game the most out of this grid, and it's quite apparent to see, isn't it? These two guys, Ashwin, who is more of a F1 gamer rather than GT Sport, and Aditya, oh, so he was one of the victim, or rather say guilty party to jump the start, and Ashwin will now have quite a comfortable lead with him. Does Monk has or drive-through? I'm not really sure. I don't think so, because this is lap 4 and he is still continuing, so this will sum him really well. And now we'll see Aditya push really hard on the final 2 laps to make inroads. Azim meanwhile sitting quite comfortably in P4. RKV down 27 seconds, and now he loses it again. Caught in the act, and he manages rather quite well, holds on to it, and that allowed Skinny to close up right to his gearbox. And we'll see DRS there. You can see DRS meter getting activated now, and he's still not active. Now he has activated it. Abitaku, meanwhile, in the background, we could see he is closing down this battle. There you see the McLaren for a second. Yeah, the next straight should be the prime opportunity for Skinny, aka Puneet, to make his move on RKV, but 6/10 down. Not really sure if he's close enough, but we all know how Skinny sends it down, breaks really late, but now he's gaining, and yeah, I think this should be an easy move, and there's nothing RKV can do here. He breaks really late, goes deep, switch back from RKV, but nah, nothing doing here, and yeah, RKV makes that move stick. So now RKV will re-attack from Abitaku behind. Pretty soon we could see Abby close in on him as we yellow somewhere. Yellows in sector 1 and 2. Not really sure what that was for, but Monk meanwhile has closed on to Aditya. Not really sure what's going on here. Aditya is someone who plays this game and is honestly quite decent on it, as opposed to Monk, who is not that experienced. As we see a Ferrari who has lost it. Who's this? Oh, both the Ferraris are just yeah, going in circles, which a fact by which Binota won't be a happy man, as RKV is doing more and more donuts. Maybe he has had enough with this race. Is it the same corner where Vettel bottled it in 2018 season from P1, as he's lapped by Ashwin, and he has spun again? So yeah, not the best day for Ferrari. He is going into reverse. Not really sure what's going on there. Binota will have a word with RKV after this race. Race is already over. I'm sorry, Ashwin, I forgot to take note what lap it was, but Aditya weaves across the line, finishes P2. Monk finishes P3, Clownstar a lap down, RKV a lap down, finishes P7 and P8. Azim in a respectable P4. Skinny, where is he? Oh, he just started his final sector. Beautiful helicopter shot here. Will finish the race in P5, and a bit off, couple of seconds behind is Abitaku. But will penalty have its role to play? We'll have to wait and see. I don't think so, but you never know in F1. Too much corner cording, Germany is known for. And you could be thrown off your positions at the start-finish straight, and no, he stays where he is. So yeah, that's race 2 done. Plenty of action here in terms of jump starts, wheel-to-wheel battle, and yeah, Ferrari spinning around. So right, so that's race 2 done for Germany. Ashwin winning yet another race here. I'll need to check the lobby option. I don't think it's in reverse. Maybe it's random, as the boy from Delhi celebrates with a spray of champagne with the other podium winners in the Williams. Aside that, you don't see much these days of Williams on the top step of the podium, unfortunately. But yeah, that's race 2 done. Here are the standings. 51 points, 2 wins out of 2, and the fastest lap in Germany goes to Ashwin as well. So 51 points, 14 points behind is Aditya, 24 points behind. The leader is Monk, followed by Abby, Puneet, Azim, Fahad, and RKV. Right. So once everyone is has pressed continue, we'll proceed. What does the stream say? His brother motivating him in the chat section, keeping it clean, and that's what you need to do in F1. Just concentrate on your race and let everyone else take care of the rest for you. Right, do I have any message on Pearson? Right, let me just go to the host option. Wait, it's reversed, so I'm not really sure why did Ashwin start in P1, but let's just keep it reversed here. I don't think I need to change anything here, so let's get back to the lobby. So we are in Monza, turn 1 carnage. Yeah, I'm keep putting my money on at least 2 people getting punted from behind and going deep into turn 1. That's what Monza can do. So as Aditya can get ready, we can start off with the race. Come on, Aditya, press ready. Not really sure how many of the drivers here are watching the stream along with me. Not really sure how many. Oh, as I am audible on the stream. Let's just put that off for now. Right, race 3, and we are in Monza. In fact, I forgot to check how many races we have here. 6 or 7. I think it was 7. What will we wait and see? Oh, it's wet race again. So yeah, make that 4 guys getting punted from behind, because I'm sure most of them will miss their braking point at turn 1. And in wets, of course, it is quite a lot earlier than what it is in dry. Should be an interesting race, and hopefully the grid is reversed as per the race result from last race. Hopefully. Nope, Ashwin is still in P1. Okay, I'm not really sure. Azim is in P3, so it's quite a fixed order. I'm not really sure why. Azim Clark has already jumped the start and he's up into P1. He's having none of that. He wants to be in the lead and take control of the race, but he'll have a drive to penalty to serve as we got 2 wide into turn 1. Azim breaks really late. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5. So 5 drivers go deep into turn 1. That's more than what I've expected. And yeah, something, at least I'm not disappointed here by that fact. Azim meanwhile holds on into P1 rather than being a gentleman and giving that position back, but it's all for fun, so nothing wrong done there. As Azim goes wide again and Ashwin loses his car and Ferrari goes into the back of him. There's a carnage there, people avoiding and taking the exit route. Azim meanwhile still continuing into P1. He doesn't care about the rules, he doesn't care about what's going on behind him. Let's get back all the data up on the screen, and oh, Azim isn't down to P2. Not really sure what happened there, but let's get where the action is. Ferrari meanwhile, they are on their home track, so they need to perform here. That's what their home crowd Tifosi will hope of them. Ashwin from P1 is down into P last. Abby from P2. Oh, Ferraris are making contacts with each other and pushes the other one off, and Clownser and the Ferrari and the Italian fans won't be happy with that. Both Ferraris fighting each other, not in the manner they would have hoped for, as Azim goes a bit wide. Azim needs to stay out, not go into the pits, and he's right under attack from Aditya. Azim not really defending that, but will he brake late? We'll have to wait and see. Let's stay on board with the Mercedes, and he brakes late and he couldn't stop his car on time, and neither can Aditya. Azim is into P2 and he lets Aditya through, so I think that's a pretty gentleman move. Down the field, Ashwin and Abby Thakur going side by side. Oh, Ashwin locks up and so does Abby, so driver needs to adjust their braking points quite well here. Almost everyone is braking really late and going deep into the corner, something that they must avoid. Skinny meanwhile, I don't think he jumped the start, so he is in net P1, but he is under attack from a fast approaching Mercedes of Aditya, and you can see how much gap he's closed down, getting a better exit of Lesmer too. It should be a drag race to Ascario. They make slight contact, but Mercedes will hold it down the inside and he will have the inside line, and Skinny will have to concede. It's Monza, remember, slipstream will be of advantage here. Skinny concedes, but will he stay inside? No, he loses the back end in a bid to stay within the slipstream. He loses it. Azim Clark is in P2, but he has a drive-through penalty to serve. So that is not a net P2. Net P2 belongs to Wildest Monk. Azim, remember, is the only one who jumped the start. So you're not good when you have your brothers and cousins watching and cheering you. Will Azim go in the pits? Yeah, he decided, and he is. Oh, he speeds into the pit lane. So he should get a penalty for that, maybe. No message. Which is good. Ashwin is fighting the Ferrari of Clownster. Clownster needs to stay right behind him to get all the slipstream advantage he can, as Azim is now plumb last. With 2 laps remaining, will he make a comeback? We'll have to wait and see. Elsewhere, oh, it's a 3-way battle between Ashwin, Abby, and Clownster is just barging his way through. They're not giving each other any space. Clownster, Ferrari has to concede that position. So, I mean, to be fair to Clownster, he did say that he's not familiar with this game, so yeah, maybe we can give him that benefit of the doubt. Something Tifosis won't give, but we can of course give that. But someone, speaking of Tifosi, someone who is new to the game and who's doing rather quite a commentator's curse, maybe. Maybe, as I was saying, someone who was doing rather well in a Ferrari, but he just went too deep in Lesmer 2 and just got overtaken by Ashwin. Will he send it down the inside? No, breaks on time, takes that apex beautifully, and he's down to P5, and the longer he can stay there, the more points he can score for the Ferrari. But we have Abitaco closing down the gap on him. Oh well, meanwhile, Azim, how did he overtake Clownster? I'm not really sure. Clownster must have had some spin anywhere. So Azim, who was last at the start of the lap, is up into P7. Any other close battle we have? Yeah, Ashwin is closing down. Ashwin sets the fastest lap, 133.3. The next fastest lap is from our driver in P1, Aditya, 133.3. But he is, Skinny goes deep again. So drivers are struggling with their braking markers, whatever that might be on the track. And Ashwin, who was last at the end of lap 1, is up into P3. So he's making inroads, and quite quickly that as well. He is 2 seconds quicker than Monk, who is in P2. So the gap should come down. The gap is 7.8 at the moment. So let's keep an eye out. It's 7.6 now. So we'll keep an eye out on that gap as the race goes on. But Abby, meanwhile, is right on the gearbox of RKV, so he needs to get a really good launch of Lesmo 2. He breaks late, but RKV manages to get a better launch of that corner, and he has slipstream from the Red Bull of Skinny in front of him. Will we see him close the gap even more? Takes the corner beautifully. All 3 of them rather clean. We can see Skinny not the quickest guy off the exit of Ascari, as Aditya says the fastest lap is a 132.2, so that is quick. Now, will Skinny send it down the inside? No, he doesn't. So it's a 3-way battle for P4, and the final lap has started now, as Clownster meanwhile has lost at the exit of Ascari, as Ashwin sets the fastest lap. Abitaku going for the overtake on Skinny, and he got a better launch of the Parabolica, and as a result, but Skinny has the slipstream from market. Who breaks the latest? Abitaku. Send it down the inside, and they make contact. But somehow Abitaku managed to hold on to his McLaren, and RKV, I think a slight corner cut there of turn 2. Nothing that he could do. He got pushed wide there, but he still managed to get himself a 3-second time penalty for a fault that wasn't his completely. And as Skinny cuts the second part of the chicane. Now with no DRS, Skinny needs to hope. He lost all the traction on the exit of Lesmo 1, and I think this should be the grid order where they finish. Meanwhile, let's just stay on board for once. The race leader and the race winner, someone who drove a faultless race, dominated race with the fastest lap. Oh no, 2 tenths slower than the fastest guy, but still he weaves across the finish line. Oh no! Now yeah, he crossed, and yeah, he crashes his Mercedes because why not? Crosses the line in P1. Monk, even though he is 3 seconds slower than the quicker guys here. Oh, he says his fastest lap time. Ashwin says the fastest lap with 1:30.8, so that's 1.5 seconds quicker than the second fastest guys. So Ashwin clearly showing his pace here. RKV in a respectful P4 after going wide at the Lesmo into the gravel. Quite a job well done from RKV. Skinny P5, Abitakur in P6, Azim P7 after their drive through. Not bad. Clownser, Ferrari in Italy finishing at the back. Yeah, well, let's just forget that happened with him, shall we? As he crashes his car across the finish line, because he should. So, right, so there we have it. Winning the race, a different winner in a third race, but yeah, familiar face in the Williams in P3 there. Let's just back to the points table. I apologize if you can hear dogs barking. That's my neighbor, so just ignore that. Skinny, meanwhile, the only one with no penalty, so well done to him. 10 extra points from my side. Let's have a look at the standings. 67 and 62, so that's the difference, and that's how much he has gained courtesy his win in the wet Monza. 5 points rather separating the top two. The midfield battle here, Monk is in quite comfortable 14-point lead from Abitaco, but the midfield looks quite tight here from 36 to 47 as Skinny has left the session. I'm not really sure why, but 11 points separating P4 to P8, so this should be an interesting end. 2-hour race. Where is Skinny? Not really sure where's Skinny. I think let's just send him an invite again if the guys here don't ready up, which they do usually. If the game can load up for me, I can do that quickly. Right, just give me a minute. Skinny, right here he is. Okay, wait, don't ready up, guys. Wait, let Skinny join. We need Skinny here, come on, man. It's quite an interesting battle here. Oh no, but he left, didn't he? So I think his points will be reset. Oh yeah, there you see, no points in front of his name. So tough luck, maybe some disconnect going on, but nevertheless, the battle for midfield is now between 4 drivers. 11 points separating Abitakur, Azim, RKV and Clownser, so this should be interesting. Red Bull, as usual, sitting comfortably in P3 as it is in real life, with no competition from behind or not quick enough to challenge the top 2. And here we see 5 points separating these two, so this should be an interesting battle. How will that... Why is Caesar not racing? Because I'm commentating here, Mukim. That's why I'm not racing. Or maybe I was, or rather I should say I was made to sit in the comm box. I was in the driver's seat, but it's all good. I'm happy to commentate on these races. It's fun. Oh, we have a dry race in Baku. Right, so challenging portion of the track, the castle section. So expecting at least 3 drivers to bin it. It could be 1 driver binning 3 times, but yeah, 3 bins or 3 bottle jobs is what I'm expecting at the castle section. So let's see. Let's hope for the best. I think 2 more races to go after this. So 3 including this one. So anything can happen. So yeah, now it's proper reverse grid with Clownster and RKV in P1 and P2 respectively. As lights go out, RKV meanwhile again forgot where his clutch button is, and he is down to P last. And further up the field, oh, Clownster lost it again, and he does a what do you call it? Backflip, handstand, whatever you want to call it, but oh, they're through each other as Clownster goes into the wall. So as Aditya, from all that carnage, is up into P1 starting P4. Abitago starting P6 is up into P5. Ashwin sends it down the inside of RKV, but breaks well in time. Someone is ghosting inside a car, and that's Azim. Azim is taking full advantage of the ghosting system. He is still ghosting, and he's right through everyone. He doesn't need collision system. He has the game's ghosting system to work for him, and he makes his way up into P5. Clownster, meanwhile, starting from the front grid, not the best. Let's see. Castle section. P1. All good. Safe. P2. Safe. P3. Safe. P4 safe. P5 is safe. P6 is safe. P7 is safe. P8 a bit of contact, so everyone is safe for now, but I'm sure someone will bin it there as Ashwin goes side by side round the outside. What a move from the Williams of Ashwin. RKV needs to break just in time. A really difficult corner. You tend to hit the wall on the exit if not taken properly, as someone did hit the wall. I think that was Monk. Skinny meanwhile in his trusted Renault. Clownster is way off now. Now on to the longest straight of the track, even though it says that it has 2 turns here, but it's technically a straight. And oh, this is the only battle we have between the Ferrari and the wildest Monk. I'm not exactly sure how Monk managed to let Clownster through, but okay. So this is the only closest battle we have. Further up the field, Clownster gets a 3-second penalty. I'm not really sure. How can you get a penalty here? Well, that's a story for another what if. I mean, penalty in Baku is a bit challenging to get, but cheers if you manage to get it. So now, I'm sure we'll pretty soon see Ashwin and Abhi Thakur battling each other. 1.5 second, almost 1.6. The gap will come down, I'm expecting. Wildest Monk and Clownster, meanwhile, these two are still getting on with each other. Azim is into P5, good 4 seconds ahead and closing down on RKV. So Azim doing quite well in the Haas here. But this is the only battle we have, so this is the only battle we keep an eye on. But let's see. Castle. Oh, 2, 3, 4, 5. One is rather clean here. Let's see what Skinny does. He's slow and steady. And oh, don't send it down the inside. Oh, bottle number 1. That's 1. That's 1 out of 3 I predicted. So Monk is the first victim here. A long way, a million-point turn will Monk has to do here. Aditya again leading the race. What a boring race he's giving us. Come on, slow down and fight the guys behind. Just kidding. And here is Ashwin right on Abhi Thakur's tail, and yeah, with the ERS you can see set to 4, which is overtake. To all those who are not familiar with the F1 terms, he's on 0 now, so he's saving his ERS, and he will have the DRS on the next straight after turn 2 if he doesn't overtake him. He does and gives Abhi Thakur the DRS. So not the smartest move, I must say, but I see he is pulling away, so yeah, not a bad move after all, I guess, with the DRS. Abhi Thakur not able to close the gap down, but Azim and RKV in the battle. Yeah, RKV sends it down the inside, and Azim is in the wall, something that we saw between Ricciardo and Kvyat. But unlike those two, Azim is the only one suffering from that impact. Azim, to be honest, is lagging a little bit. His connection is not the best. I think he's playing on the Wi-Fi, and his PS4 is a bit off from his router. Right, let's see how they take the castle section. Oh, someone has binned it. Abhi Thakur, that's 2 of 3, as I expected. So like his teammate from last season, Abhi Thakur has binned it in the castle, like Monk did in the last lap. Right, so I expected 3. Let's see if Monk is able to take this section cleanly. He is, so it's good to see yellows again in sector 2. Not really sure for what that is. Right, let's just stay on the closest battle here, which is between Azim and RKV. Azim is under the DRS detection zone now, as Aditya sets a fast slap at the 142.4. And pretty soon we'll see DRS getting activated on Azim. What a shitty camera angle, but you can see the DRS advantage, slipstream, everything in use, and nothing RKV could do here besides being late. Will he? No, but Azim goes deep, hits the wall, and so does RKV. So something that RKV could have taken advantage of. But he will have the DRS on this straight, so RKV needs to stay behind him, activate his DRS, but he hasn't yet activated DRS, man. Does he know? Now he does it, so that's a bit late. I guess Azim goes defensive, but he breaks late on the outside, but yeah, not the best place to hold the move, or hold on to the move, especially when the wall is right on the exit. Right, so Castle, that's cleanly taken as always. Ashwin expecting this one to be clean as well. Oh, just a bit of a contact there, but no damage done. Azim and RKV still going on at it. Right, so just getting a phone call there. Sorry about that. And everyone is going on cleanly rather, which is good to see. And Abitakor is closing down the gap, 1.5 seconds, and that will fall down as he is quite close but loses the back end, and something that will not help Abitakor. These two teammates from the past, or rather season 1 in GT Sport, they're quite imitating each other, competing each other in points, and yeah, just holding on the back from behind. Right, let's have a look at the fastest lap here. 42.4, Ashwin 42.7. So Aditya is 3/10 quicker. So definitely a track he is most comfortable with. And we can see Azim has now pulled away a gap of over 2 seconds over RKV. Field evenly spread out, except Clownster. Clownster is on 0 ERS. He has no ERS whatsoever, and they make contact between McLaren and Ferrari. Whoa, there's Skinny on Renault's. I'm sorry, I can't speak, but there's Renault with Skinny in it. Not really sure what happened at turn 1, but he's dead last. Where was he? I think he was in P5 or somewhere. Clownster, meanwhile, with the DRS, really sends it down the inside. It's a final lap, remember? Send it, man. Just send it. Push him. No, but he's a clean driver, and I'm glad he is. He kept it clean. Oh, but he pushes him just a bit, allowing Wildest Monk in the battle. Remember, this is the battle for the midfield as Monk just sees it on the inside as Skinny lost it again. Not really sure, and maybe tire attempts not helping his cause. But as we approach to the castle section, the three-way battle for P4 continues. No one has to bin it, otherwise they will lose a lot of points here. Right, so everyone, he made contact with the wall, but yeah, nothing more than that. So now, oh no, the Clownster has lost it. Got too eager on the exit, and yeah, maybe hit the curb and lost the back end. And now he should be under attack from Skinny for the field. Oh, both we have our race winners, P1 and P2. I'm sorry, I missed the winners again. Azim, meanwhile, will round off the podium, so well done to him. This will give his championship points a good boost. I think he should be maybe P4, P5 in the championship table. I'm not really sure, but Abitaku crosses the line in P5, RKV is in P4, Monk is Chuddy Buddy in P6. Oh no, he jumped. Oh no, I thought they swapped places. Courtesy penalty, but no, that was just a minor glitch. Clownster, oh, Skinny's catching up, but where did he finish? P7, right, so no penalty, swapping his position in this case. Yeah, Mukim, finally a podium for Azim, there you see it. And two familiar faces on the podiums. Faces that we see quite a lot, and yeah, they're twins, they're in-game twins are these two. Is Aditya and Ashwin. Champagne celebration continues at the end of round 4 in Azerbaijan. So let's have a look at the stand. Wait a minute. Fastest lap goes to Aditya in P1, so 26 points, maximum points out of Baku for Aditya. Just 3 points separating the leaders. Swap in the lead, that is. Ashwin was leading, remember, before this race. And now we have a new leader. Azim, meanwhile, is up into P5. So just 4 points behind Abby Thakur and 14? Is it? 16 points behind Monk. So Monk's still very much comfortable in P3. But the battle for the lead and the midfield for P4 is definitely hotting up. I'll just check how many races are left. 3 more races to go. So Bahrain we have now, then followed by Kota and Albert Park. Right, so we are under the night sky of Bahrain, a beautiful track, a track that I love racing in. Right, so once everyone can get ready, we should be off. Yeah, you can see 9 points from Skinny. Oh, Skinny got his points back, I think. So yeah, so 9 points separating Skinny up till Abby Thakur. So all to play for. And you never know. I mean, anything can happen in these 3 races, and Monk's position can be in trouble. Quite comfortable at the moment. As Aditya blames me for finishing his spin at the end. Well, I did not miss it in Monza, so yeah, if that can make amends. Right, so once everyone is ready, we'll go ahead under the night in Bahrain, or Sakhir as the track is told, as we have front row lockout for the Ferraris and RKV once again. Oh, there's Ricardo. The Renault does a Ricardo at the back, but further up the field in turn 1, collisions everywhere, but oh, everything is rather clean comparatively, as the Ferrari of Clownster just destroys that board marker in P1. But elsewhere there's a bit of a collision here and there, but rather clean overall. Will Azim hold it on the outside? We should turn into inside, but no, this collision. Oh, 2 cars have gone. They've spun facing the wrong way where they shouldn't. RKV are getting in the wrong end again. From P1 he is down at the bottom end of the field, something that oh, Abitaku came in there like a wrecking ball. Did I just quote Miley Cyrus there? I just did. What was that from my side? But Abitaku, what is that? He just came and missed the breaking point and skinny me casually from the outside. See ya later. He does it and moves up into P7. So that was a wild move from Abby. Right, Azim meanwhile into P5. Monk is down to P4. Clownster has hold on to his podium position for now. Oh, he is lagging, so not the best of connection. Ashwin meanwhile needs to be a bit patient, wait for the main straight, which starts now. And yeah, use the DRS and the ERS effect all the way down to turn 1 as Clownster slips back to his slipstream, and Ashwin defends as he should on the inside. Oh, he brakes really early, does Clownster. Elsewhere everyone is quite far away from each other, so this is the only battle we have. And as you've seen from the pace of Ashwin, he will pull away from Clownster. So will Monk have enough laps with him to close down the gap from Clownster? We'll have to wait and see. Judging by that pace, oh, there's a Mercedes. Oh, he lost it. Oh, on the exit of that corner, maybe he rode that curve on the exit, and I'm not even sure what the turn number is. But yeah, once you ride those curves too much, the car really jumps and yeah, it throws off, unsettles the car. Don't do an Abby Thakur here. He does it. He taps the Monk as if returning the favor from his for his teammate to him. But being a gentleman that he is, he lets him go through. That gives advantage to Ashwin, who is trailing PX. Oh, Clownster has spun. As we see 2 cars, 3 cars. He just manages to hold on, but now he loses it. Drifts it and holds it. That was beautiful, Azim. Well done from you, but he loses positions. So the position he gained, he lost it courtesy Skinny, as there's a swap in the position between Monk and Aditya. Ashwin says the fastest lap with a 132.0. It's a drag race to turn 1, and there's only one winner here. As long as Monk doesn't brake late and takes him on the outside. No, he breaks on time. Let's just stay here. Come on, get the camera angle right. And now Aditya pulled away. Courtesy, his better entry line into that corner. And now we could see him pull away. As we have a ding-dong battle here. Azim moves up into P4 between these three guys. So three-way battle, that's what we want to see. More and more cars involved in the battles. So Azim in P4, Skinny in P5, Clownster falling rather behind him. Skinny will have the DRS at the back straight in the next couple of corners, but Azim goes really wide, broke really late, or maybe accelerated too early. And now will Azim hold it? He held it down the inside, but Skinny will have the DRS with him, as I forget to activate these information data. Will Skinny hold it? Nah. Oh, he got a tap. He gets a tap from Clownster, but Clownster is the one who suffered the most. Where is Abby? Abby overtakes on the outside, says thank you very much to the other Ferrari. So Ferrari starting P1 and P2 is yeah, not having the best of races. As Ashwin says, another fastest lap. Will we see another fastest lap being beaten by Aditya? We do 7/10 quicker. So he's catching up. Meanwhile, battle down the field. DRS activated on the Z. Come on, man, send it down the inside. Send it. He is defending it, which is fair. But he will have another bite at the cherry on the next DRS straight immediately after turn 3. But Azim got a better launch, and yeah, he's in a pretty safe zone for now for this lap. And yeah, Aditya is closing down the gap. It is 8.1 seconds. And now and Skinny, oh, what happened there? Maybe he hit the curb. A collision with Azim, so he was side by side with him. Or maybe he broke too late in a bit to close down the gap. So now our field is all spread out, as it shouldn't, rather. To be honest, we would want to see on-track battles than everyone else driving on their own, as the gap between the leaders is closing down. 7.6. It was 8.1 few corners ago. But we just over one lap to go. Don't think Aditya is close enough, but still the fight for the championship is still pretty interesting. They are swapping positions almost every other race, so which is good to see. Oh, we have yellows in sector 2. Oh, there's a spinning Abby Thakur. You make my head go round, baby, round, no, no, no. Yeah, as I butchered those lyrics. That's what Abby might be listening. Very rightly imitated over there, or demonstrated rather. Yeah, I can't speak properly. My throat is pretty dry actually. I need to have a sip of water after this race. Right, so Abby Thakur, who literally punted. Not really sure who that was, but sector 2 on lap 1 is down in P7, so not the best of the races, and he is leading that midfield battle, remember. So it doesn't look good for him at the end of the race. So he could possibly lose that position, that P4, by the end of this race. Let's have a look at the fastest lap. Both the top two drivers are in the 131s, Ashwin and Aditya. Skinny is the next fastest guy with a 132, but the P5 is the position he wouldn't be happy at, as he is hunting down Azim in front. 2.1 seconds is the gap, but he is running out of laps, unfortunately. As let's go up to the race leader and eventual race winner. The gap has come down to 6.7, but RKV gets a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. But Ashwin, it's a ding-dong battle between Ashwin and Aditya, as Ashwin crosses the line and finishes P1 in Bahrain. Aditya weaving as usual. Will he spin it? Well, for once I was on him and he doesn't, so don't complain, please. Monk, as consistent as ever, even in F1, finishes in P3. So quite familiar faces now that we are, what is it, 5 races in the championship. Azim finishes P4, 1 place off the podium, so quite a good race from Azim. Skinny in P5, Clowns are finishing in P6, Abby Thakur P7, a position he will not be happy with. RKV rounding off everyone unfortunately, in P8. So just one corner to go. Running car number 13. Maybe number 13 is not helping him, serving him well. A change in number. He goes into the pits because, yeah. So that's Bahrain done. And we will see another swap in the leadership, as we have seen for the past 3 races. That's really good, actually. Wasn't he in a Williams for the last race? But never mind. Toro Rosso, P1. And the fastest lap goes to Aditya, 131.3. So he was 4 tenths quicker. And we could see the gap was falling down. 6.9 is what the final gap was. Let's have a look at the standings. 3 points again. So they both are swapping positions, left, right, and center. Azim, meanwhile, moves up into P4. But the gap between him and Monk has increased, and the gap between Monk and Aditya has increased. So Monk comfortable in P3. Azim moved up into P4, best of the rest, if I can call that. Just 15 points separating him and the rest of the guys. So yeah, interesting finale. Definitely. So once everyone is ready, we will move on to the next race. And I'll have water, so just give me a moment. Right, I'm back. I did every other thing except drink water, so here we are with my sore throat. We start. Why is Aditya in P1? I'm not really sure, but RKV get a better launch this time. Azim Clark gets a drive-through penalty for jump start. What is he doing? He's up into P1. He doesn't care. Just pull away. He's slow. Why did you slow down there, man? Just could have carried on. Turn 1. Everyone is a gentleman, as we see poor Bollard there. Azim is now P last, and he will stay there for the race, I believe, unless one or the other Ferrari bottles it again. Clownster needs to hold on to that position, as Haas is cutting corners everywhere. And yeah, that serves you right, Azim, for cutting corners that much. So yeah, on top of that, he has to serve a drive through, and we have a McLaren of Abitaco spinning. Where did he make contact? As Ashwin sends it down the inside, but manages to stop his car on time. Drag race to the next breaking point between Monk and him. Monk slips. What am I saying? Monk forms the line behind him, taking advantage of the slipstream, and now breaks late and takes the position back from the Ferrari as well. That's a double move. Pushes Clownster wide just a bit, but Clownster is side by side, so he will return the favor, I believe. He does, yes. Pushes him just a bit wide onto the curbs, as we see. There's a bit of the impact behind, and Monk is up into P2. Where is Ashwin? Ashwin is down into P5. So at least he managed to hold on to his position, and Clownster is into P2, and he stays there for now. And yeah, I mean, for him to be the best of the rest, he needs to hold on position, and Monk sends it down the inside. So he is really driving like Max Verstappen here, not giving a damn about racing etiquettes, as we see for both the Ferraris. RKV let everyone through there, not really sure why. Come on, RKV, fight these guys. Yeah, I mean, that's how you'll get quicker, but Ashwin just biding his time. He knows what his pace is compared to these guys, and I think that's the right thing to do. But meanwhile, as he is stuck behind these guys, Aditya has managed to pull a gap. RKV gets a 2-second time penalty, and Ashwin has overtaken Clownster in a place where it's not a... Oh, Clownster sends it on the inside, but went really deep, and at the end ends up losing a couple of positions. So yeah, maybe keep an eye out on the braking zones. That will help, as RKV goes a bit defensive, but Ashwin has closed on the gap to the wildest monk. We will have DRS, remember? DRS will be active in the next lap. Both Ferraris are battling each other for once, and I hope these two keep on battling rather than bottling it. That's what we don't want to see, as oh, the Red Bull and Toros, and they make contact. Wildest monk has spun in a bit to hold on to his car besides him, and he is doing donuts. Where is his old teammate Abhi Thakur? Ashwin gets a 2-second time penalty, and yeah, Monk. Maybe the pressure of staying in P3 is getting to him, and it won't do any good to his points table, points collection rather, at the end of the race if he manages to stay there, as Clownster gets a better launch off turn 1 and yeah, goes in the front of his team at RKV. So these two needs to work together, at least for Ferrari's sake. And that reminds me, I can even check constructor points. I'm just checking drivers till now. So let's have a look what the constructor championship will be as RKV. Oh, what are these teammates doing? What is this, Haas or Ferrari? It reminds me of Grosjean and he loses one more position. Reminds me of Grosjean and Magnussen's battle in Spain from last season, as Clownster breaks really late again. Ferrari boys need to learn where their braking points are, else they will keep on losing more and more positions if they manage to keep it on like this. Let me just switch on the... There it is, yeah. Let's just stay here. So this is the only battle we have on track between Skinny, RKV and Clownster. Rest everywhere else, I'm not really sure if Aditya and Ashwin have signed any contract that one is going to win one race, the other one is going to win another one, as Aditya sets the fastest lap with the 135.1. Will Ashwin beat that? Just one more corner to go. No. So the fastest lap was 136.8, so 1.7 seconds slower than Aditya. So not a good sight for him. Maybe he has to concede, as oh, Skinny goes on the outside. Where is RKV? RKV is braking really early now, which is affecting his entry and exit speed. Will the Ferrari stay side by side? No, they don't. Clownster backed off just in the nick of time, and Clownster is all over the place really. And RKV gets a 2-second time penalty. So now expecting RKV to send it at the next braking zone. Maybe. No, but I think the gap is too big for him to do anything about it. So he should brake on time. But look, Clownster, meanwhile, is still braking quite late. And the gap he has closed down, and he will have the DRS, which his teammate doesn't. So now we should see Clownster close down the gap. And we can see his DRS is open, and he is closing in. Send it down the inside, man. He is defending now, and... Hold it down, hold it on the outside. Nah, well defended by RKV there. So Ferrari, rather than sending each other to Narnia, are actually battling it on the track, which is good to see. Tifosi will be happy. Binotto will be happy. Oh, he got stuck in the neutral, so he's struggling with his manual gear. And RKV is able to pull away. Monk, meanwhile, down into P6, a position unfamiliar to him up until this point. Abhi Thakur P7, Azim 23 seconds down. Azim gets a 2 seconds penalty. Oh, we see a Red Bull here. I think yeah, that was Skinny. Yeah, Skinny lost his car, I believe, because he was P4, P3? P3, yeah, he was P3 on the podium place, and now he's P5 under attack from his teammate, and his teammate lost just a bit of his back end, allowing Skinny to go into the distance as Clownster is hounding his teammate. So we have a teammate battle here between the Ferraris and the Red Bulls. Oh, we see the Ferraris there and Red Bulls there. Now, will Clownster, where's Clownster? As you have yellows in sector 2, and oh, Skinny has lost it. Skinny is down into P7, but Clownster will have the DRS on this straight. So we'll have to wait and see if Clownster, I mean, he is quite far back, but will he brake really late? Maybe send it down the inside, lunge it from him, impossible to say. He tries it, but not close enough. Clownster tried it, but a few more corners to go as Aditya, meanwhile, rounding off the final corner. A sight we are familiar with, weaves across the finish line to win the US Grand Prix. Ashwin, I mean, these two are playing ping pong with each other. It was Ashwin last race, it's Aditya this race, and you know, the trend is continuing every race. And the Ferrari for once managed to hold on to their positions, and at least one will finish on the podium irrespective of the penalties. And Clownster takes the final step on the podium from his teammate. Monk finishes P5, not a happy sight. Abitakor finishes in P6. Skinny, who could have been on that podium, made some costly errors. Oh, look at that, 100th of a second behind Abitakor. So that was the gap between him and Abby. He did best with that. And Azim, after jump starting, going P1, braking, spinning, I mean, yeah, maybe Ericsson hit him from behind, not really sure, but he rounds off the pack in P8. So I'm sure his position will be affected in the championship standing. We'll have to wait and see. And yeah, as Mukim says, Ferrari providing all the excitement, and they are. Once we see them on the podium, besides the two familiar faces in P1 and P2, it's quite interesting. Rather, I'm quite enjoying commentating here for the first time. Let's have a look at the championship standings here. Fastest lap goes to, wow, look at that, 9/10 quicker than Ashwin. So yeah, that was the advantage he had over everyone else. Let's have a look at the standings. 5 points lead, so this is getting really heated up right now. Abby, meanwhile, has managed to jump Azim. Azim, courtesy his P8 finish, has moved down to P5. And Monk's position is quite solid there. As always, I forgot to check the constructor standing, but Ferrari should be good, since Ferrari is the only team here running two drivers. Can we have a look at constructors here? I don't think I can. So I think this is, wait, where did Behrin come from? Let's just delete. So this should be the final race. Race 7, final race, winner takes all between these two. Should be interesting race. I think Monk has cemented his P3. But yeah, everything to play for. Look at this, 7 points separating Abby Thakur all the way to Skinny. So I think except P3, every other position is to fight for. So what a finale in Australia. Yeah, let's have a wet race here. This weather is set to dynamic, so I'm not really sure. Red Bull running, oh yeah, Red Bull with two drivers as well, so should be an interesting watch. Come on, let's be a wet race. Australia, give us a wet one to make it interesting. It's a dry race, and I think many drivers will be happy in the field here that it's a dry race. But let's just hope that Aditya and Ashwin are not starting from the front, just to keep up the excitement. And Azim, for once, please don't jumpstart the race. You have a lot riding on this. Yeah, I mean, anyone. Let's not jumpstart, wait for the red lights to go off. So final race, remember, except P3, all the positions you guys are fighting for. As Azim gets ready. RKB, alright, good. So P5 and P7, they're at the back. Lights goes off. RKB once again struggling to get off the line, and he will fall down the order. Meanwhile, up into P3 is Aditya from P5, and he sends it down the inside from Monk, but Monk, oh, holding it down the inside now. But yeah, he had to concede that position. Aditya, meanwhile, he knows that he has everything to play for. Will he send it down the inside? No, he doesn't. He decides to stay behind, and Clownster doesn't get the best of the exit here. PRX Skinny, meanwhile, up into P4. Oh, he got pushed a bit wide from RKV. And who's this? Azim? Is that Azim from his goal set Haas? Meanwhile, oh, he loses it. He drifts it, and he loses the car. So maybe that's his... yeah. Oh, Ashwin is down. Oh, Ashwin is down as well. Someone who could have won is down into the last position. So things looking not really good for him. As Aditya is in the Haas now. Aditya is in the lead. So is this the battle over? Is this Ashwin's career over? As Nico Rosberg says. Clearly it looks like it. As unless of course Aditya bottles it. But meanwhile, Monk solidifying his P3 in the championship up into P2. Red Bull meanwhile doing quite well in P2 and P3. Abitakur. Oh, someone has lost it. Oh, it's a Ferrari of RKV and both the Ferraris. Oh, RKV in the gravel, a sight we all are familiar with in this championship, unfortunately. And Azim moves up into P7, but Skinny meanwhile looks best. Oh, he's an attack from Abitakur. Abitakur, we know how hard he fights, how hard he defends, moves up into P3, but it's a long race. Only one lap is over. Oh, he's trying to switch back line. Beautiful switch back from Skinny. Moves back up into P3. Now Books moves down to P4. RKV has left the session. He has had enough of this. So, yeah. But well done to RKV. I mean, wherever he finished, congratulations. And Abita was a bit wide there. Ashwin not in the best of the positions there. Let's see what the gap is to the leader. 17 seconds behind Aditya. So, yeah, looks like his championship winning chances are well and truly over, unless Aditya bottles it, that is. So meanwhile, the battle between Abitakur and Skinny, the only closest battle we have on our hands, which from the looks of thing is getting wider and wider. And yeah, with that I think Abitakur looks set to be the best of the rest. Let's see. So driver needs to be careful on the exit of that chicane. That curve tends to throw the drivers off, and you know, I've been a victim of that quite a few times. Just loses the car on the exit, and yeah, into the wall. Aditya says the fastest lap with the 124.8. Will that time be beaten by Ashwin? Ashwin's time is getting smaller and smaller compared to Skinny. 6.4 it is now. Will he set the fastest lap? No, he does not. So the fastest lap from him was 125.4. So he's still 6/10 off from Aditya's time. So I think this track, along with Kota, is one of Aditya's strongest. And yeah, not the finale we would have hoped for. But it is what it is. Got caught up in the incident. Did Ashwin from the back of the field, and that really not helping his cause. And the gap you can see now, it's quite even. I mean, 4 seconds between second and third, 3.5 between third and fourth, and 4.5. That gap is getting down, so we could see a swap in the position between Skinny and Ashwin. Azim, meanwhile, who lost his car at the first sector on lap 1, has moved up into P6. Ferrari just starting off the back. That is a ghost car for RKV, so he is not driving that car, let's remember. So the Ferrari is rounding off the pack, a familiar side in this mini championship. But let's keep an eye on the battle that we could possibly have, and we can see Skinny on the screen for a second there. There is the Red Bull, and the gap is 3.3. You will see the gap go even lower, 3.1, so 2/10 closed down in just one corner, and now further 1/10 in that last corner. So Ashwin is pushing a lot. The fastest lap was 124.8, so just few hundredths of a second slower than Aditya's. So he is really pushing, and he is at par on pace with Aditya, but he is running out of laps. This is the penultimate lap, remember, and he doesn't have enough laps and time and tire grip with him to make any inroads. So unless Aditya makes any mistakes on the remaining part of his race, I think he looks good to take the title in this mini championship here, as he takes that corner rather cleanly. Monk, Mr. Consistent, someone who says that he doesn't play the game much, is sitting comfortably in P2 and will finish the championship in P3. Abby Thakur, his teammate. I mean, it's a trend, isn't it? I mean, when Monk does well, Abby does well. When one of them don't do well, the other one tends to make some errors. So maybe there's some bro code between these two. I'm not really sure. As well, look at that. Ashwin is right on Skinny's tail, just under second. I'm not really sure how he managed to close that gap. Azim gets a 2-second penalty for corner cutting. Stop cheating, Azim. As we could see a swap in position on this main straight, as Ashwin gets a better launch of that corner, and you can see here nothing Skinny can do. And Ashwin will get the DRS again on the next. Oh, he goes a bit deep, but with the help of DRS, will Ashwin manage to hold on to his P4? So now with 1 lap to go, or rather under 1 lap to go, I don't see Ashwin closing the gap to Abby Thakur by 6.5 seconds. So I think this should be the order, the finishing grid order, unless one of them makes a mistake. So I mean, let's just stay on board because he looks set to win the championship and the race as well. Don't bottle it now. So overall, a brilliant drive, a brilliant ding-dong battle with him and Ashwin. Quite an interesting battle to see, to commentate, and at times boring because, like, here there's no battle, so no point giving them any screen time. But as he rounds off the final corner for the final time, Aditya, for the first ever mini championship, weaves across the finish line and wins the Australian Grand Prix, and with it the mini championship. Wildest Monk rounding off, finishing the race in P2, solidifies his P3 in the final table. Abby Thakur finishing in P3 for the first time on the podium here, and Ashwin takes the fastest lap with a 124.5. That was quite a good lap from him. Skinny in P5. Azim, who was P last, remember, made his way up into P6. And Clownster aside, which is pretty sad to see. The Ferraris rounding off, and yeah, just crash it, mate. Yeah, deserves that. So yeah, P7. So Ferraris finishing P7 and P8. So I think with that result, I think Abby Thakur confirms his position as quote-unquote best of the rest. Let's have a look at the points table, and that confirms. There you go, 17 points. So quite interesting battle between these two. Well done to Monk. Abby Thakur held on to his P4 courtesy his podium. Azim stays in P5. Skinny jumps Clownster, or rather RKV, finishing P7, and Clownster stays in P7. RKV moves down to P8. Let's have a look at the constructor. Has 219 courtesy Aditya's change in the constructor at the last moment, but Red Bull and Renault doing quite well. It was quite close between Red Bull and Renault there, but this is what we want to see. So congratulations to all of these guys here for participating when GT Sport dished us at the last moment. But this was equally fun, or maybe we had more fun here than what we could have had in GT Sport. So hopefully more races to come in the future. And for now, from Caesar here and from Proximity, it's goodbye and good night.